cordial greetings to all of you in the name of the Inter-American Division. As maybe all of you know, our division is made out of 40 countries, many of which are small, both in territory and population, but others are large and densely populated. As you know also, recently our territory has been affected by some natural disaster, and we are asking you to pray for all those people are suffering there, especially for our church, our members. And thanks God, we are going forward. The church is alive there. At present, there are 3 pastors in Inter-America serving the territories in the stewardship department. Pastor James Daniel, who at present is one of the vice president of our division. Recently, he was appointed for that position, but at the same time, he remains as one of the stewardship department associate directors. Is not with us at this time because of the recent natural disaster which have battered our territories. He's performing administrative duties in the support of the members and leaders of the church. And then we have Pastor Samuel Mancilla, Stewardship Department Associate Director also, who is with us in these meetings. And your humble servant, Pastor Roberto Herrera, is the present Director of the Stewardship Department. As all of you, our division is a dynamic territory. We have a lot of programs, activities, congress, advisories, and so on. As a ministry at the division level, we are organized in order to offer, first of all, a stewardship program for the church member, which consists in explain them, teach them what is the systematic benevolence. Our church believes in that. Also, we have a program, stewardship program for local church, which is a spiritual revival program. And we have a stewardship program for the local fields, conference and mission, which is based on the development plan. So there are a lot of activities and programs that I can show you, but at this time I will give you an idea of the vision that the Lord has given our division in the area of Christian stewardship. So I want to share some comments about this. During this quinquennium, we have been dedicated to the promotion of 3 principal emphases throughout our territory. First of all, we are working on establishing a sound financial system throughout the division. That's our main goal. As a result of summit that the division administration had in 2016, we all the union administrators and all the local field president, we had a consensus about the financial system of the church, and we are working on establish a sound financial system in the whole territory. In essence, this means that working under direction of the Holy Spirit, we aim to reach the goal of going to all 24 unions, 150 local fields, and a little more than 21,000 congregations to encourage them to become financially healthy and to grow. That's our goal. Every single local church we want to see is growing, is healthy. Every church is important. Doesn't matter it's in the city or in a far place. Doesn't matter in the side of the church. Is a place that we want to see growing and healthy. For us in Inter-America, working to establish a sound financial system is much more important than simply trying to increase our tithes and offerings or improve our liquidity index and operating capital, because it forces us to look at each little element of the system. We are seeing from the moment the funds enter the system, who gave them, what are they for, what route do they take, who are involved in the process to the reception, administration, and feedback of the system. And that's why, for us, this is so important. Because we are seeing the system, we are obliged to work with the church member, with the local congregations, with the pastors, with the local fields, and with all strategic levels of the church. And this is something exciting for us. Trying to see every element of the system, trying to see that every part of the system is in place, is working in a proper manner. And of course, we are obliged to do permanent evaluations. That's why this is the first goal that we have a ministry, a department, to try to establish a sound financial system in the territory of the division. Can you imagine what will happen if our 115 local fields can be financially healthy? We are talking about the ability of the church to carry on the mission. That's we are talking about. Can you imagine to have more than 20,000 churches growing, alive? And because we want to reach the second emphasis that we have in Inter-America is that we are working to strengthen the role of the pastor in stewardship of the local congregation. Basically, what we look for is that our more than 4,000 pastors should have an adequate understanding of the topic of stewardship as believed and taught by our church, and that they should know how stewardship works at the local level. One of the problems that we have is that normally we have good person in office that can explain stewardship program, can preach about stewardship very well in unions, local fields. More or less, we have, most of them can do that job in good way, but the problem is what is happening at the local church level, because there is where stewardship happen. We are talking about stewardship when somebody took an envelope and put tithe and offering there, and when somebody decide to make a commitment with the God. But all of that happen in the local church. So we need to have people in that level that can explain to the member what is stewardship. And we are identified pastors as people that can do that, and we want to strengthen them in order to do that work. Our church continues to be essentially a pastoral church. The members in general do as the pastor indicates. The pastors are the ones who set the spiritual tone of the church, be that good or bad. And this is why we spend a great deal of time trying to influence the pastor, helping them to be constantly aware of the importance of this topic and provide them with resources and materials so that they can better carry on the work. I am spending a lot of time with pastor, training them, encourage them. We need every single pastor in Inter-America can explain the church what is stewardship. They can preach about stewardship. They can explain the biblical doctrine of tithe and offering and so on. And they can explain the member how our church get money and how our church spend the money. Because all of that will provide an good environment for the church and for the growth and so on. And finally, in Inter-America, we have another emphasis. We are constantly working toward improving the pastoral attention given to the church members. We believe that this is the best stewardship program that we can have. Take care of our members. That's a stewardship. Take care of our members. So we simply believe that the best stewardship plan is to take proper care of that church member. We are striving to have each congregation intentionally offer its member help that will allow them to grow in their spiritual life and to enjoy their stay in the church through fellowship with one another and disinterested service to God and to their fellow men. Regarding this final point, we would like to see at the level of the local church some issues like the quality of the church services. This is something so important. The spiritual food that the member receive both in the Sabbath school and in the sermons. And we are placing great importance on the pastoral visitation program. And we are promoting the study of the biblical doctrines, like the doctrine of the church, spiritual ministries, and Christian stewardship, among others. So, brethren, based on these three pillars, each territory has the freedom of forming their own stewardship plan. We are anxiously, seriously committed to this matter with no expiration date. And let me tell you, we have begun to see results, but we will see much more with the blessing of God. So may God bless you, and thank you very much for your attention.